Hello, VOD watchers and people who show up within the first 30 seconds of when I start my stream. I don't want to sit around for 10 minutes waiting for my stream to start, so we're starting now. Yes, it has been a while. In my defense, I was distracted by Desert Bus and Bingo Brawlers and working on this game project on RPG Maker MV that I have been working on. But here we are, we're back in the land of Tyria, just outside the Salt Flats. Is Secret's Passage in Guild Wars 2? I don't know. I'd have to check. Doesn't matter. I mean, some spots are. Hero's Audience is. The Arid Sea area here is a bit more flooded. But, you know, that's what happens when Palawa Joker redirects the friggin' Elon River. But we're not here to talk about that. We are here to go do this quest. Not that quest. Quest I have selected, the Bladed Betrothal. This will give me a couple skills, Ether Lord and Windborne Speed. One of those is good-ish. One of those is decent. But yes, it has been a hot minute since I was playing this game on stream for all y'all. And in that time, Balds of Janthir had its second part drop, which I overall enjoyed. It did feel a bit quick, but they also had this raid and convergence that they added, which was probably a lot of work. I'm already looking forward to the next part. I have lots of mixed feelings on Guild Wars 2. Shall I ramble about them for right now? Sure. It's a testament that there is something fun about the game, that I enjoy it, with how problematic I find the build system. What I fundamentally want, like, at this point, is to be able to sit down with some of the developers at ArenaNet and be like, okay, so which decisions made during 2007 to 2012, while Guild Wars 2 was in its primary, or initial development cycle before it was released to the public, which decisions made during this time do you wish were different? That's what I'd want to ask them. What decisions have you found that you have had to work around? And I give them huge credit. I do think that they have put in I did not mean to target Dunkor there. I wanted Melania Koss. I think that they have put in a great deal of effort to working around some of the design decisions made at that time. I think that it would be very illuminating to hear what decisions they wish had been made differently. I know what I would want to be different. I don't think trinkets should exist. There's too many equipment slots, and all it does is make buildcraft extraordinarily clunky. Because it gives you so many more things that you have to go and fetch in order to be able to do it properly. Who cost? You can get this. I have a double dragon cost. I don't know why they were running back and forth. I don't know how long the stream is going to be, by the way. I ate a large late lunch like 2.5, 3 hours ago. So I probably won't be super hungry. But I am feeling a little nibbly at the side for reasons that elude me. And it's also like 6 p.m. so my time. So I don't know. I don't know how long I'm intending to go. My flare got de-shotted. Probably, if I had to guess. My flare is still de-shotted. I will go around 2 to 3 hours. Better fireball than flare. Actually, flare is doing garbage damage against these guys, but whatever. Anyway, that would be my expectation for how long I shall go. We shall see. What I'd ideally like to do is I'd ideally like to get to Drox today, I think. Your D shots are very annoying, and I dislike them. For one thing, I'm not going to get to Perdition Rock, but I am very much looking forward to it. I want to get access to Elemental Attunement. I think it might be a little bit... Oh my goodness, this D-shot. Might be a little bit easier to get to from Cantha. But getting that far, Dragon's Lair, should get me a bunch of things that I need. Such as level 20. It'll be nice to get Lightning Surge as well, because that'll allow me to be able to give Vec an elite skill, because he's my air Ellie. So that will be good. Any other things of note? If you happen to see this within the narrow band when it's true, Guild Wars 1 is on Black Friday sales for lots off, so, you know, that's cool if you want to get yourself an account. That's what I recall I did like 2 years ago, maybe? You know what? I can check. Age. Nope, a year ago. So I've had this account for about a year. Neat. So yeah, I got this in the Black Friday sales last year. And I'm still, like, in that time, I probably, if I'd been actually putting the time into it, could have beaten the game on multiple characters and all of that. Could have probably finished this whole quest by the time all is said and done, but, you know, I've had other priorities in life, so I have not. Can I get a mid-cast screenshot? I don't know, one of those maybe works for my objectives. I really want to get another elite other than Double Dragon. I am not interested in Double Dragoning. Hey, Hawkdust. Good to see you. How are you doing? How's your Black Friday been? It has been a while. It's good to see you around. Too many thoughts all at once. I'm being chased? Question mark? Do I need to go? I think I need to go up and around. Okay, well, at least it didn't interrupt that. Bought some new sweaters for work. Social shopping you did. Yeah, nothing particularly special. I had a dental checkup, just a simple check-in to see how things were going with my teeth. And things are going well, so that's good. Need to be slightly less aggressive with the brushing. It's not good for the gums. So I'm going to have to try to be conscious about that, which is easier said than done. As the dentist seeing me himself admitted. Did my Guild Wars 2 dailies. Which feels like an ever-increasing list of random stuff that you can do each day. We got our Christmas tree put up. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I don't have any crowns or any of that, thankfully. I actually didn't, like, I was supposed to make an appointment to go to the dentist or something like that in, like, 2020. Evan Nashblade's birthday. Yes. Yes, I have. Oh, hey, Senate-san. Maybe that's why I was thinking I needed to go this way, because I always come up here to do this guy's quest. Where he says another guy's an idiot, basically. But yeah, no, but during... Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. But the pandemic hit, like, I was supposed to get an appointment around the time the pandemic hit, so I just didn't, and then I just could not bring myself to make it the phone call to schedule an appointment And I finally went in person to schedule one, like, earlier this year. So I went, like, 5 years or something without a dental cleaning, and everything was fine because I flossed and brushed every day. But, yeah. Thankful for that. Yeah, no, it just kept spamming you with Evan Ashblade things. Well, there was also the bug with, I forget what they're calling it. Calling the mini update. Or the part 2. I don't know, it's like they release half of the thing and then they release the next half over 3 releases. So it's like you get the first half and then you get a sixth, the sixth, the sixth. So whatever. The most recent sixth-ish, whatever, of the Wilds of Genthier story, when it first came out, it kept popping up a little notification letting you know about it every time you switched maps as well. So they've got some sort of thing with their notifs on. But yeah, their notification system has definitely got something borked over there in Guild Wars 2 land. I need to stop standing in the traps. That was silly of me. Lonnie, be on fire. Okay, what happened to all of my energy, seriously? Oh, right, Resignet. It was... There were a lot of chat memes about Evan Ashblade's birthday. You could buy Black Lion keys, so that for materials, so that was pretty neat. They're never going to clear the backlog on the trading post unless they make Black Lion keys like a 1 gem or something. I honestly don't think there's any way for them not to make Black Lion chests feel like a really annoying drop for me. And like, I would seriously consider buying them if they were 25 gems, but not at 125 a piece. It's like, oh, we'll put them on a 30% discount. It's like, that's not enough discount. I wonder, that's one of those things though where I feel like maybe they would have set a different price point if they had, like, if they knew in retrospect. I don't know for sure, but it's like there's cool stuff in there and they're fun to open, but not. What does 125 gems work out to in USD? Because it's $10 for 800. It's like $1.50 a key, right? Something like that. I don't know. It's just not worth it. Like at 30, 40 cents a piece, it might feel tolerable, but... Then you need, like, hundreds of statuettes for friggin' nodes, and it's like, this is ridiculous. For harvesting nodes. Okay, yes, I need to go to Diviner's Ascent to be able to get to Ilona Reach. That checks out. I don't know, I'll just get statuettes the old-fashioned, they randomly give them to you way. Am I better off going through that teleporter? Maybe. Let's do it. Let's go through the teleporter. That sounds like fun. Yeah, that's the problem. It is the exact same problem that you have in this game with lockpicks, right? Except you haven't spent real money for them. And it's like, this does not feel like worth the thing that I'm getting from, like, yeah, it's fun to open, but it doesn't feel worth to open to the amount. Yeah, it's a slow way of accumulating a currency out of them that you can spend to get actual things, right? And like most of the time it's some They feel like they're something that you get from like a gumball machine. That's what Black Lion chests feel like, except they're charging way too much for them. But like, and I understand things like costumes, you know, they have to make functionally like 2.5, 3 skins. No. Because they need, for costumes, they need to fit male and female, Sylvari / human, Asura, Norn are similar to human typically, but not 100% because the body shapes are pretty different. And then Char, obviously. So Char, Asura, the human Sylvari sort of frame, and Norn. So they have male and female. So they have quite a lot that they have to do. So I don't mind it for armor pieces or costumes or things like that to some extent. Some armor pieces feel a little overpriced, let's be real. But like, I don't know. Yeah. That's a fun, silly name. I don't know. There's no subscription fee, so I definitely give a bit of grace to Arena for that as well. But it's definitely an interesting question of if they adjusted these numbers, would they actually make more money because they'd sell more of them? It's a P's and Q's problem. And then there's the legendary relic requiring absolutely ludicrous amounts of lucent crystals. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? What incentive do they have to decrease or adjust prices? Well, no, it turns out I don't happen to have that much lying around. I'm working on it, but it is friggin' ridiculous how many crystals you need. I think I have 5 of the 25 relic bits that you need in order to be able to yeah, it's crazy. Been debating on playing again, but after doing the grind for all 3 weights of armor legendary, getting all your runes and sigils legendary too. The fact that they were just like, well, so much for your runes, GG, makes me you're allowed to play grind anything anymore. I mean, if you have at least 1 rune, then you at least have the legendary relic, which is enormous. Because I think they just gave them to people who made the legendary runes, right? I wish I was in a position to make a legendary rune at that time when they announced that they were going to do that, because the legendary relic is absolutely absurd at how expensive it is. I wish I had full legendary gear. At bare minimum, I wish I had full legendary trinkets. I think they said that having the legendary rune meant that they'd give you the legendary relic, didn't they? I think that's what Ra indicated too. Okay, yeah, let's go back to Seekers and turn some quests in. Yeah, I know. It would be so convenient. The build system actually works once you have legendary gear. I was able to get the incinerator, the dagger, and I now have the regalia. Yeah, that's what I thought. Salty grease. That's what I heard. Like the build system and the relics are BS because they are a trait that instead of being profession specific, they use an inventory space. Sure. So it's like, actually, let's go. Let's go grab Thirsty and then start worrying about doing these. Isn't it the full legendary relic? The trick with legendary relics is that you don't get access to all relic functionalities. You have to... Ooh, birthday present. First birthday for this character with a miniature Kieran. Neat. Because you have to get... Oh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, it's a lot of bones. But you have to unlock individual relics before you get their functionality as a legendary relic. And yeah, what I think they should have done is have a baseline legendary relic that then you... Or like baseline legendaries that are not super expensive to make, but you have to add the functionality to them somehow. So like you can get a legendary armor piece, but in order to be able to use a combo, you have to get the insignia for that combo, and then you can add it to that legendary piece. So that way, like, they can sort of spread the cost of getting the legendary online out and not have the base price for it be so bloody ridiculous. Yeah, I agree, Hawk. You should have be like, okay, the base is this, but you can make one of these motes that you need 25 of for each relic to add its functionality to the thing or something like that. Yeah, I agree, Salty, because it's a trait. It's a slottable trait, and having to do that, like, that soulbind. They are slottable traits that you have to have physical objects in your inventory, and they soulbind, and it is so terrible. It is designed to be a legendary, and ugh. And like each time I get a legendary piece, I'm like, this build system gets exponentially better the more legendaries you have. And it's just such a terrible build system because of its reliance on legendaries to be able to make anything work. It's like they looked at Guild Wars 1 and said, this system makes it too easy for people to make bad builds. And so they locked up the skill bar in Guild Wars 2. And then they implemented an attribute system that makes it really easy to make bad builds. And it's just like, you changed the problem, guys. You changed the problem, except now, in Guild Wars 1, you make a bad build, okay, you go back to town and you reconfigure your attributes and skills. Boom, problem solved. In Guild Wars 2, you have to buy an entirely new set of armor and trinkets, and it's 12 equipment slots plus your weapons. Between trinkets, slash back piece, and the 6 main, like, on-body armor slots. It is absolutely ridiculous. It ties you to your equipment so much more. The Guild Wars 2 build system is kneecapped by its reliance on equipment, making it absolutely awful. But the combat gameplay I'm finding to be fun. So it's like, it's making up for it, but... And then don't get me started on... yeah. Oh, I believe it, Hawk. I absolutely believe it. Because... you need all these different stat combinations and stuff. And it's soul binds. Well, I guess Ascended might not soul bind to characters, but just be account bound. I'm not sure how that works offhand. But, like... yeah, that's what I was thinking. Ascended's account bound. So at least that, but... But and then there's the crafting system and crafting materials, and it's just the amount of effort they've had to go through for the fact that they made 6 tiers of crafting materials that then had 0 use, and they had to like retrofit on use for like legendary stuff and whatnot is absolutely ridiculous. Like, they made too many crafting materials, and then they were like, crap, the system that we made means that like 80%, 60%, whatever of our crafting materials are useless. I guess we're going to have to try to find a way to give them use. And that's where you get the condensed gift of might and condensed gift of magic as opposed to the regular ones that you use for just like tier 1 legendaries, because they're like, oh, we don't need to sync these. We need to sync the lower tier stuff. The 3, 4, and 5s. Yeah, everything about the Guild Wars 2 economy design is trying to find sinks for resources that they give the player for rewards, but then those just become grind pits. Because MMO economies are impossible to balance. Because you actually have to worry about them like actual economies or something, I guess. I don't know. I think the grind should be for skins. Not for functionality. And Legendary is such an important functionality for the game to actually feel good to play when you're making builds that, like, as soon as you get out of casual land and you discover just how much your stats matter in order to make your build work, it just... yeah. That's fair. I mean, that's the thing, is they use legendaries for goals. They use the quality of life and whatnot of legendaries as goals to achieve. But that's the problem with MMO treadmill anyway. It's an inherent problem with the design of MMOs. I think there's ways to overcome it, but you're reliant on you have to be reliant on emergent systems, and that's really tricky to get to actually work. But that's where something like, I guess, EVE Online maybe kind of plays in that space. But you can't tell a story anymore. Right? You just have to make a world that's actually living. Not branded as living world, but actually a living world. With, like, the AI playing AI entities playing a really big civilization / RTS game that the players are interacting in. Which is just an entirely different focus. That's fair. I don't have any personal experience with FF14. But then, like, I've been playing Guild Wars 1 for... I mean, we're approaching 20 years next year. And, like, I have definitely made a wrong turn somewhere. I haven't grown... I mean, I get tired of the game at some points in time, but there's always... I don't mind coming back to, because the core systems are just fun to play. And the problem is you shouldn't need to have, like, having goals can be something that ought to be able to be arbitrary, because the gameplay itself should be fun enough that the goal isn't the point. The fun of the gameplay is, and I feel like Guild Wars 2 skewed a little bit too much for grinding for goals and not enough for the fun of the game. Does that make sense? And, like, I'm not going to take an individual character back through the personal story, except for maybe to unlock achievements. But, you know, we replay missions all the time in Guild Wars 1. Just one core system, plus some of the goals can just be passive too, that are more secondary than primary, like titles. Yeah, exactly. Or you can just be like, you know what, I just want something to do to play the game. Let's just fill up a book. You know, and you play through the game again, and You complain about carrying the offering to the Shrine of Landru or whatever, but for the bonus, but you have fun playing it because it's a fun game to play. And the fact that I mean, Guild Wars 1 is basically able to function in the same territory that great single player games like Majora's Mask are able to fit into, right? Like, yeah, playing Guild Wars 1 with people is more enjoyable than playing it solo a lot of the time. It's fun to play it with other people, but you don't have to, and you can just kind of play it as a single player experience, just like those. Yeah. I mean, there are some real BS things to grind out in Guild Wars 1. LDOA is tedious, and Legendary Survivor is wretched. Yeah, I have an LDOA on my main account, and I am not doing that again. I love me some pre-searing. That's not the way to enjoy pre-searing. My LDOA is in pre-searing. I wanted a perma-pre, so might as well. Sure, that's fair. I like having somebody who can actually go to the Northlands and survive. So having my level 20 there is nice for that. Who's like actually kitted out, sorta. Some bleached bones. But yeah, like, I have fun with Guild Wars 2, but its core systems aren't as fun as Guild Wars 1's. In my opinion. You know what? This is the thing that's really struck me about, like, part of the problem that I have with Guild Wars 2 is just how friggin' complicated everything is. Because, like, all of the skills do way too many things, and you can change them with traits, and it makes it impossible to keep track of what does what without, like, being actively playing that character. And then everything just feels a little too shallow. It's fun enough, but what Guild Wars 2 is really good for is playing dress up. That's what it's really, really good at. And again, Legendary Armor helps with that. Yeah. It really does. I like Guild Wars 1 fashion also. The thing that I like about Guild Wars 1 fashion is that each profession... Okay, I wanted Milani there. Each profession looks distinct. But there's so many options for customization in Guild Wars 2. Hey, purple dye, nice. It's really, really good at it. Okay, teleporter, am I going to be ambushed by scarabs by coming over to you? This one's going to be annoying. Let's hide the party window, actually. That might make this a little easier. This is very widely spread. Oh, throwing me a curveball here. There we go. I think this should continue on towards the sky. I usually come a different way, but I couldn't tell you what it was offhand. I think I usually go through here more or something, or like down and around. I don't know. I definitely took a different path than normal though. I keep waiting for the elf ears to get back into the shop. I would like me some elf ears. I wonder how much money the swimsuits made ArenaNet. I bet. They charge more than normal too. Normally an armor set is more like 800 gems, not 1,000 gems. Yeah, I have no idea. I would be curious to know what their accounting was like after they released that. I still wish I could put my Guild Wars 2 Necro in Scar patterns, but here we are. I cannot. The bikini is as close as I can get. I mean, they're charging like, I don't know. I need to figure out what the functional exchange equivalent is. It's not hard math. I'm not going to do it in my head right now. It's like, I guess 5/4. So yeah, I guess they're charging like $12 or something for that bikini, something like that. So yeah, it definitely could add up very quickly. Oh, good. We got bracer. Do I have an expert kit in here anywhere? Yes, I do. Okay. I didn't know if that would give me more useful materials or not. I need to be doing a little bit more expert salvaging because I want steel and silk and stuff on this account. Someday I'll be able to afford, or I'll have accumulated enough dyes that I can dye my characters, but we're getting there. Okay. I have these jade mandibles. I'm going to deposit these funds. And do I have a capsic on me? I do. Let's go get ether renewal, everyone. And rejoice. Do I want to do any build changes? Not really. I mean, I don't want double dragon on my bar. If I'm being honest, I just don't want double dragon on my bar. Lava font? Question mark? Actually, let's just slap on meteor shower. Call that groovy. Sure, this will work. Yeah, let's enter mission. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more than 50 grand. Or if we're talking that scale, I don't know how many people would have had to buy it. Also, I have no idea what corporate taxes look like. Yeah, ether renewal will be nice. Hello, Jim Derringer. Yeah, water has clunkiness issues. But I mean, it's going to be in part what your team comp is in general. So this is never getting off. Yep. Guess who was right about that? Okay, let's not stand on this trap. That is too much damage. It's a matter, like, how is your water Ellie trying to slot into your team comp? What sort of thing is it trying to do? Because water's nice for defensive stuff, with a combination of snares and some potential party healing and things like that. Swirling Aura can be a party heal. Deep Freeze is a nice snare that helps keep melee away from your party. Maelstrom is disruptive. Do we hit the Ellie? Yeah, it's in the second group, right? That sounds about right. Yeah, water's not great for damage, unfortunately. A lot of its skills kind of have longer recharges, so you can't really spam too well, and I've aggroed the region. Cool. So it's definitely going to make it hard to do DPS type rolls with water. Fire and air are better suited for that. And as you observe, you've got Water Trident, but... you can use, like, Deep Freeze and Prism, I think it is, that hits an AoE. I probably don't have it on this character. I don't have... Yeah. I don't have everything. I have the skill effects memorized, but I don't necessarily have all the names are memorized. But... yeah, for sure. I mean, you also just run into the problem that elemental damage is so heavily resisted, like, a lot of the time, that you're hitting for, like, half the stated numbers, and it's just depressing. Oops, sorry about the microphone there. Should I have just watched the cutscene? Would you have opened it faster? It would have been nice if the 15th Anniversary Elite had done anything to make the Elementalist hit harder. It needs the help. It just can't compete with Mesmers. People try to pretend that air gets at least semi-close, but... armor ignoring is just so valuable in the game. It's a design issue. If they had enemies that had high HP and low, like, really low defenses, then... direct damage would have been good against them as opposed to armor ignoring or, like, armor respecting. But things just don't have elemental weaknesses, or it's like the destroyers where they're technically weak to cold, which means they only have 80 armor instead of 100 against it, and you're still better off being armor ignoring. Wow, that was inconvenient. Meteor Shower did its work. That's part of why I brought it. Yeah, unfortunately, the 15th Anniversary Elite just wasn't solving a problem well. Yes, attribute points to spend. Anything above 60 has you sweating. Yeah, exactly, because it's reducing your damage, right? Anybody else have attribute points I ought to be trying to get spent? Yes, you do. Okay, cool. Yeah, and, like, I understand what they're doing with the calibration of numbers, but it doesn't work super well in PvE because they inflated armor numbers too much. in order to increase defense instead of increasing HP, and so it makes armor respecting damage too weak. And like hard mode was even worse at one point in time, and then they switched things around, I think, to give enemies more HP and less armor, generally speaking, to just try to make it not quite so ridiculously punishing, but that still only goes so far. Yeah, I understand that. Have you activated the enhanced draw distance option there? That one's an important one. It decreases how much level of detail reduction happen to the graphics quality and stuff. But yeah, a lot of changes would have happened in 18 years. So. Yeah, there's a lot of weird popping. For sure. Gotcha. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Gib. Yay! Why did the pop-up for unlocking E3 renewal not... Unless I missed it. Yeah, whatever. I have it now. It's a lot of game to catch up on, though, that's for sure. Concussion shot. Well, that's just rude. Oh, there's the E3 renewal unlock pop-up. Weird. Wonder why it took that long to unlock it. Okay. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really enjoyed making it, so I always appreciate it when people watch it. I learned a lot doing that one. Doing that series. So are you the person who's been posting in the comments and with like the face with glasses? There's definitely a lot of details I didn't realize as a teenager when I was first playing the game that I'm like, oh, I picked this up now. Take that, enemy team that I've annihilated. Cool, cool. It's always fun seeing comments pop up. Well, thank you for dropping by the stream. I appreciate it. Okay, now to make sure Kinara doesn't get... I wanted to make a pun out of this somehow, but I can't think anything that actually feels like it actually works. Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, you see that in Guild Wars 2 as well, where people are focused on certain parts of the game and not the story or whatever, and it just slips by them what's going on. Because they're just not paying attention to that part, or... I don't know, different people have different brains for stories as well, I've noticed. As well as just, you know, everybody has their own tastes about what appeals to them. Storytelling-wise, too. I did not do a whole lot of Hall of Heroes back in the day. I did enough... Well, this count doesn't have it because this is my alt account that doesn't have any progress. But my main account does have its Bambi, but didn't do beyond that. go. That was a pretty good takedown of that guy, of that team. I do like their solution for Tomb of the Primeval Kings once they were introducing factions, though. I'm just going to wand here. Because I don't want to kill these guys too quickly. Yeah, it takes a lot to get a character PvP ready if you're going through PvE. This will not help me. The PvP in Guild Wars 1 was just so good, though. So I definitely don't blame you there. I haven't experienced anything like it in any other game. Is just very good. Actually, I'm gonna just flag everyone in here. I want to get this priest down. Yeah. Oh, things have probably developed so much for those. I haven't looked in too much into the PvP scene for like the parts that are actually active and not just like farming bots in HA, which is Heroes Ascent is what Hall of Heroes / Tombs is now. But I mean, if you were playing after the release of factions, you'd know that. So I'm going to assume you do. But yeah, oh man, even at like the tier at which I played at, which was never like high, I enjoyed GVG with I kind of like the low mid level probably, if I had to guess. I don't know, maybe I'm not giving us enough credit, but I remember really enjoying it. Sure. The heroes you mean, or do you mean like the actual bots? Because people could refer to heroes as bots as well. Then they allowed them in PvP, and then they stopped allowing them, and the hero arena went away, and I don't know, it's been kind of all over the place. Is this resolving? Is this resolving? Is this resolving? It is resolving. Excellent. Okay, yeah. It's gotten pretty bad at this point in terms of botting those areas, unfortunately. Freaking concussion shot. Okay. How do I... Oh, whatever. Take mod action. Yeah, exactly. Excellent. I got both sides of it. And I feel like I need to do something with Moobot.
Of the gods, your souls will be pure, your bodies cleansed. You are ready for the next phase.
Did I right click on that? There we go. Yeah, well, keep in mind, this is leading up to being able to get to tombs, right? So once you finish the Crystal Desert is functioning as tutorials for PvP, because as soon as you finish them, you get to Dragon's Lair, where you can go over to the Tombs of the Primeval Kings and go immediately do that. So it makes sense. Actually, you know what? Before I go do that, play. They definitely had the vision for Guild Wars 1 of PvP being the endgame. What the heck is going on here? That is a lot of Primeval Destroyer glove wearing. Thank you for the signal of capture. What am I? Yep, this is definitely a thing that you will see. Dread masks, Primeval armor otherwise, with Destroyer gloves. Huh. Random. Absolutely random. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of acquiring things. On my main account, I have not yet gotten enough Destroyer cores to get any Destroyer gloves in all of the years I've been playing. Did I have any? Dropping Eves. Oh, wait, have I finished Ghostly Vengeance? Okay, I will finish Ghostly Vengeance. Now. Let's go do Alona Reach. Okay. I don't want Meteor Shower still. That's expensive and slow, but it was nice for dealing with the healers. What do I want, though? The price of Ectos fluctuates, so sometimes it's expensive and sometimes it isn't. Let's just grab Lava Font. That's a good one. But yeah, Ectos have been sometimes like 12 or 16 plat, sometimes they're like 6. So they kind of vary a lot. Major Expertise. Radiant Minor Smiting Prayers. This is one to hang on to and actually evaluate. Oh, that unlocks my Minor Smiting Prayers. Nice. Improve sale value. That's good. I think those salvaged. Okay, wood. That's maybe less useful. Sometimes you get major vigors. I think. Do I have? Maybe not. I have several major vigors on my main account. At some point in time, somebody just dumped an absolutely unreasonable number of soup vigors into the trader, and they were like 12 plat for soup vigor, and I bought up like 6 of them at the time. Again, on my main account, not on this one. It was wild seeing them that cheap. It did not stay there. But it was absolutely wild. Yeah, it was something ridiculously low like that. I might have a screenshot of it somewhere. Oh yeah, for sure. They've often been like 60k. Yeah, they're definitely... That was absurdly low. That was like unheard ofly low. It seriously must have been somebody who had just a ton of extra stock on hand and was like, why am I keeping this? And just dumped them all. Or maybe they just wanted to mess with the markets. Who knows? Wow, those guys are absolutely wrecking my face in. Will I get physical resistance through a... I should check that, because physical resistance might be good to have on hand. Hang on. Yeah, physical resistance is... Skill trainer, signet of capture. Doesn't say skill quests. I can get it in yak spend. I might drop by yak spend to pick this up. What did it say? Interesting. So there's a bug that will not lower it below 60. So wait, this is just free 40 armor then? Interesting. Maybe elements resistance doesn't have that. Nope. It has that bug. Huh. Weird. Mark of protection here is... Oh, it is so strong. But yeah, it is... Hello, Priest Kadat, whatever. Kadat. What does my Ghostly Vengeance count at? 8. Yeah, it has too many restrictions on it. My opinion, I would probably drop this to about a 12-second recharge, quarter-second activation time, and about a 2 or 3-second duration, probably about 3 seconds, and get rid of the protection prayer disable. And then it becomes like the anti-spike skill they always wished they had. Because they were always trying to make anti-spike skills. I've come to the opinion that I don't think Isaiah Cartwright was super good at his job. I think his understanding for how to balance a game was from another genre that works differently. Yeah, well, he's like, the whole thing is balanced around a reversal of fortune. And I'm like, reversal of fortune is such a medium skill, though. Like, in PvP, it can be really solid, but like, landing a good reversal of fortune was so tough. But, like, the thing is... Reversal of Fortune is garbage in normal mode PvE because half the time it's healing for... It's blocking like a 12 or 13 damage hit, right? Maybe 20. And it's just worse than Orson of Healing at that point in terms of handling damage. Which is hilarious. Reversal of Fortune, though, is a strong skill, don't get me wrong. It's just... You have to understand the circumstances in which it works. It works a lot better in hard mode than it does in normal mode. And of course, PvP, it has a lot of really good use, but... I don't know. Oh, yeah. The henchman bars often were just badly optimized for AI usage. Because the AI didn't understand how to use skills well. It still doesn't. It does some things really well, but you have to be really intentional about how you're building them, and you have to keep it pay attention to how their energy is working, because, like, for example, Mend Ailment is so much better on the AI than Mend Condition is, because they change their bars at some point to make them less bad, but the problem with Mend Condition is they will spam themselves out of energy just spamming Mend Condition, trying to keep everyone Connie cleansed. And they won't do other things. So it's like you basically need to you need to watch out for that stuff. And you part of your energy management for hero bars is recharges on the skills that you select for him. I'd like to replace Reversal of Fortune on her right now. It's not this guy.
And so begins the test of the Elonians.
Man, I could do that voice for about half a sentence and then I start going to a coughing fit. But yeah, Healing Breeze is really nice because it's actually a pretty potent heal and the AI doesn't get themselves with it as much because they don't spam it on somebody if it's on them. And it keeps them from like spamming additional heals because it keeps restoring somebody's health. So it's really nice from that standpoint. I think Healing Breeze is a skill that I used to underrate. And has become kind of a staple for me. Sure. So like you wouldn't have two monks. You'd have just one monk, one writ, that sort of thing. One necro. Definitely doable. Like one of the things that I've discovered is there's a lot of room to experiment. And one of the things that's surprisingly strong is having healing effects spread out across several members of your party. Because what ends up happening is distributed heals has this huge benefit that while one person is like, so if you have a dedicated healer, the problem is they can't heal multiple people at once unless they're using a few dedicated skills like heal party or whatever. But if you have multiple healers, they can actually spread the healing out amongst multiple people, which is really strong. It's a waste of casting time and energy technically, but I already started, so oh well. There you are, Sage. Yeah, exactly. It's that distribution. It's something when Guild Wars 2 was announced to not have any dedicated healer class, which then they have functionally reneged on, but it turns out for good reason. I made a team comp that did not have a dedicated healer in it in Guild Wars 1, and it worked really shockingly well to me because of that effect. It's the whole creates a distributed network of healing, which is actually surprisingly strong. This is what happens when something has really high armor. Man, Ether Renewal is really good for getting your energy bar back up. Can't say it's especially good otherwise, but okay. But I'm not hitting. Let's pop the Splinter Mine. Yeah, for sure. Because the thing is, you need the dedicated healers in like PvP in order to be able to do the intense reactionary heals. You need something like quite potent. And your bars get weirdly compromised if you're distributing healing across everyone in order to be able to do that. But it does work pretty well in my experience. And I'm going to have to deal with those guys over there. Oh my goodness. I am getting my face handed to me. Okay. Focus this thing. I wish I'd had Meteor Shower on me. Why are you coming over here for? Wasting precious seconds of my thing. Yeah, heroes don't know to stand in wards. You have to flag them, and it only half works. But yeah, your observation is most correct. Okay, somebody get Dunkoro up, please. Thank you. Maybe if I ping enough, they will know what they're doing. I like the idea of wards. There we go. Boss down. Monk bosses be tanky, yo. Something I remember. Prophecies in general. Oh, you mean the with joining another player thing in pre-serving that can lock you out of Gwent stuff, or just in what regard? I definitely want to unlock better res skills on this account. It's probably gonna pop on us. Apparently not. Good. Okay, excellent. Yeah, they are not necessarily great at it. Yes. Yeah, they all start trying to use it at once, and then they're not acting. That's one of the reasons why I don't like to put resurrection skills on my healers. And you'll notice this with the henchies, because the henchie healers do all have resurrection skills. And they will just start trying to resurrect somebody when that person dies instead of healing everyone else, and it's a catastrophe. just a catastrophe waiting to happen. Oh my goodness, these Arcanists are a huge problem for us. There we go. Kinetic armor makes them so tanky. Yeah. It's a good swap. Moving your reses to characters who can actually afford to stand around resurrecting for 4 seconds. Let's see. The other one's over there. I think I want to cross over to that. Excuse me. Over to that guy. Let's ambush the sage. Huzzah. Oh, good. That's a curse bearer. Rather than a super tanky Arcanist. Man, I remember when orders used to stack. That was nice. Okay, somebody just leveled. Milani, cost, Dunkor. Okay. I should absolutely be speccing their attribute points, but I am also absolutely not going to be speccing their attribute points. Okay, let's drop this so I can get rid of that. Well, okay, you know what? We'll just stand here and heal while I allocate some attribute points. Okay, these two guys did not get any. I should focus on the small fry here. I know. The problem is Paragons abused the heck out of Watch Yourself, and so they killed it. They should have just reworked Paragons because leadership is a terrible design, but that's something I've ranted about a bajillion times before. And will do again when I am in the Nightfall part of the slow playthrough. I believe I play a Paragon in that. Paragon has not seen very much play outside of it, but you know. I mean, Watch Yourself is still usable, but yeah, it's there's the bonus. Wipes out some death penalty on Donkoro, probably. Yeah, I mean, so part of what happened, I've observed, was when factions came out, Assassin and Ritualist were underpowered, and then that became, like, Ritualist has some extremely powerful things, but and or at least it certainly felt that way. And then when Nightfall came out, Dervish and Paragon were both incredibly overpowered. I may have just over-aggroed a wee bit. Okay. Hang on, I need to do this. I don't have a BIP. Yeah, the leadership is just a... The problem with Paragon is that leadership is a badly designed attribute. Like, it's a badly designed primary attribute, because what it does is it makes you want to use skills that affect multiple party members, and that's always really powerful. And so, because all of the Paragon skills are, or so many of the Paragon skills are affecting all allies in order to make leadership work, like that's how leadership functions, right? It means that making single target shouts and chants, like brace yourself or it's only a flesh wound, ended up being like too minimal a part of the design of the class or profession or whatever we want to call it. And that brought with it this fundamental problem where you couldn't balance it, because you had to design around the eight Paragon party all using these skills that trigger off of chants and shouts, and it was just... And plus there wasn't enough counterplay, and it was just... The name schemes for chants is absolutely fantastic, but the fundamental balance design at that level, at the class level, is just bad. Yeah, I mean, it's the problem that Tactics had, right? Where shouts affecting all party members is really strong, and, or, excuse me, allies in earshot range is just really, really strong, and you have to figure out some way of compensating for that. Okay, that's where I was getting the 17 from. That makes sense. I guess I should recast that while I have that on. Get maximum refunds. Okay, I think the last vision crystal is up there, right? I should know this. I played this enough. I disabled this one, right? Nope. I have disabled that one now. Yeah, you can't strip shouts. You can't strip chants once they're applied. You can interrupt them beforehand, but once they're on, they're on. Nothing anyone can do about it. Refrains, or echoes rather, were also had this similar sort of problem. Especially the refrain style that would renew itself whenever a shout or chant on you ended. That was massively powerful. It's like you can do a little bit, but you can't do as much. Well, Ulcerous Lungs isn't really what did it. It isn't the best counterplay. It's Vocal Minority, which prevents the use of shouts and chants, / Well of Silence, which also prevents them while people are in the area. But it's like, that's not a way to solve the problem, right? It's like, wow, just see all those enemies spawning in as soon as I pick this up. That was wild. But it's like the thing with weapon spells, right? Like what they should have done. Yeah, wells are pretty limited. I think they're interesting, but it's similar to wards, except you can't figure out where you can't choose where you place them. But when you think about, man, Guild Wars 2 wells are just, they have lost so much character once you get to that point, though, where you're just ground targeting them. But the weapon skills or weapon spells, the fact that you can only have one on you at a time opens up a really interesting space for counterplay, where they could have made offensive, like, debuff weapon spells that you put on enemies as a way to counterplay them being put on allies. And then you could have the counterplay of the only way to remove a weapon spell debuff is to apply a weapon spell buff. And that would have been a really interesting spot to have things. You could have made them make the weapon look different too. But, because you even have dulled weapon, which sounds like they may have been experimenting with that space and ultimately decided not to go with it. But I don't know. There's lots of ways I think Guild Wars 1 could have had different design that would have been better, and it's just like the core structure of it is so strong, which is kind of the opposite of Guild Wars 2. Like, they've implemented a lot of designs that are strong around really weak foundations that, like, compensate for it. Using infuse health. Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Doing a well of the profane thing that way.
Crystal is complete. Your day of judgment at Augury Rock is near.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely, like, there's definitely ways that you could set up intentional corpse locations through, like, infuse health or BIP spam or something like that. Which is certainly an interesting way of doing it. But yeah. But that's where I don't know, I feel like I'm just underwhelmed by the way Isaiah Cartwright tried to balance Guild Wars 1. I'm not going to do the bonus here on Dunes. It's too risky for me. Well of the Blood is fine. I think its best use is as corpse denial, though. Yeah, I need a new ID kit, and I want an expert salvage kit. Great. A garbage sundering bowstring. Yeah, I feel like he was approaching balancing the game through, like, the wrong lens. And therefore did not do a great job of balancing the game. I am sympathetic to Ensign's to Ensign's concerns now. I don't know if you were ever paid attention to the forums. Builder's Guru and stuff back in the day, but yeah, I remember him getting into many a disagreement with Isaiah Cartwright about how to do the balance. And it's like, at the time, I was very defensive of the devs, because I'm like, they're the professionals, they know what they're doing, right? And as I have developed more myself as a game designer and time has passed and as I've analyzed things, I'm like, no, not at all. Yeah. Mayhap so. Not that John Stume? I don't know. Did necessarily a great job with the LE rework. I think the idea of overcast, changing exhaustion to overcast and stuff. Yeah. I mean, I believe it. Like, you have to be at those top tier, that sort of top tier of gameplay Actually, I should go turn in this quest. To really be able to understand the nuance of the systems. I mean, you don't have to be, but you need to be paying attention to the people who are. And like you need to be paying attention to the concerns. Sometimes maybe they'll bring things up and it's just like, no, you just need to deal with it. But the thing is, I feel like the philosophy, the approach was just wrong. Hobby Flame is really nice to get access to. Get a little bit more inspiration magic. Okay, let's go to Yaks. I want to pick up a skill here. Oh, I'm going to need to grab gold from the bank for this. And that's why I was saying I just feel like his approach was incorrect. I feel like he was trying to balance it like a wrong type of game. It needs to be balanced like a TCG. And that's not how the approach that they took. Okay, I want to get physical resistance. Yeah. Yeah, again, so my poster child for this is withdraw hexes, I think is the elite skill. I don't know. I definitely don't have it unlocked on this account yet. But it's like 15 energy, 2-second cast time, recharge is irrelevant. Divine Favor spell that removes hexes from like target ally and all allies in some sort of area of effect around that ally. And then the recharge is lengthened for each hex removed, and it caps at like maybe a minute and a half, something like that, I think. You know, I can just look it up. I'm not going to be able to bring it up on stream because I don't have a setup for that, but withdraw hexes is, yeah, 15 energy, 1-second cast time, 5-second recharge. Remove all hexes from target ally and all adjacent allies, which is pretty small. It takes an additional period of time to recharge for each hex removed in this way. So yeah, it doesn't cap. But there's no cap on it or anything. This design is absolutely backwards of what it should be. And I just like, they spent so much time trying to find ways of counterplaying Hexway with adding things like divert hexes and stuff. And like, this is a factions elite that I'm describing here, right? If they had just swapped it around, so it was like, remove all hexes from all party members, recharge is decreased for each hex removed this way, with an initial recharge time of like 90 seconds or something. Oh wait, did I want to, yeah, hang on, I want to go back to the outpost and swap the skills around there. I wanted physical resistance because I would like to have plus 40 armor against physical damage. And like doing that would have made a skill that absolutely shuts down Hexway, but is really bad if there are no hexes on enemies, right? So if the meta becomes too Hexway dependent, then they bring the silver bullet that obliterates Hexway, but also means that they have a dead elite against most comps, right? More balanced comps or whatever. And so, like, it creates an effective counter source. Because what you need is you need those silver bullets. You need Grafdigger's Cage or Relic of Progenitus or whatever. Leyline of the Void. I'm naming magic cards that punish the graveyard, but you need these effects that provide counterplay against really powerful strategies that you don't necessarily need all the time. And that allows you to be able to have some natural ebb and flow where, like, this strategy was strong, and then everybody brings the counterplay, so that way the strategy goes away, so that way the counterplay goes away, so that way the original strategy can come back again, where it can, like, exist in small quantities, but if it becomes too much part of the metagame, there's a release valve. And, like, that's one of the ways that you can approach balancing things. And you'd probably have to tweak stuff, and what I've said is probably too simple. But, yeah. And so it's like, your metagame needs to be able to ebb and flow because of the counter effects being something that are extremely powerful against specifically that thing. And as soon as you are trying to, like, I don't know, like that's the way to kind of do it, in my opinion. But that's not at all the approach that Izzy was taking. And it felt like Izzy just wanted everything to be flatline design. And you see that with the design of Guild Wars 2, where he had, as far as I understand, a pretty substantial role in shaping how some of the systems were developed there. And they have fought tooth and nail since then to drag it out of that. And I still think a bunch of the OG elite skills in Guild Wars 2 need an overhaul, because, like, 2 out of every 3 feel like they suck. Guardian's probably in the best place because I think it had the biggest overhauls, where they actually had designers who were trying to make skills fun and exciting instead of balanced. I mean, balanced is what you make of it, though. It's always subjective, and that's one of the things that's so tricky in game design, is balance is just, it's a subjective mark that you're trying to hit. But making duds, yeah. I mean, there's even a joke with Isaiah's balance on the Warren Kryda boss, where it's like, oh, it makes the skill take 90 seconds to recharge and cost 25 energy because of friggin' Smiter's boon. He didn't know what to do with that. And then there's just friggin', like, Air of Enchantment is such a badly designed skill. I don't know who designed that skill, but it is such a bad design. It is, oh, it is unfathomably bad. Because it's Air of Enchantment, for those who maybe aren't familiar offhand, I cannot, again, bring it up because this account doesn't have it unlocked, but it is a monk elite skill that, it's an enchantment you put on an ally, and for, like, 8 seconds or something, enchantment spells cast on that ally cost like 5 energy less to cast, minimum 1, something like that. And it's like, in what situation is this useful? There's exactly one situation where it is good, when you're abusing it, right? Like, you can't, it is unfathomable in which situation you'd want to be able to make ally enchantments cheaper on an ally, and when you'd want to waste time being able to do that. So I don't know. It's just such a badly designed skill because it has no legitimate application. It's only abuse applications. Oh well, I was too late to tell Donkey to apply that. Okay, let's go over there so I can get. There's some way that you can kind of glitch things out, so you keep the ghostly hero on this side and you can go do the bonus, but I don't know it offhand, so I'm not going to bother with it. It's something with opening the gate without killing the boss and then killing the boss to reposition the ghostly hero or some such. I don't know. Yeah, it's like the big things on my YouTube channel are the slow playthrough and the Guild Wars 1 skill review project, which people have the friggin' rubric up on the screen, I think, like the entire time, and yet do not understand what I mean by a 2. A 2 does not mean a bad skill. 1s are a bad skill. 2 are situational skills, and sometimes that situation is very common. And oftentimes 2s are as good as 5s, or even better in the right situation. But anyway, I rant. It's good for engagement, right? When people comment, I think the skills should have been a blank because it's super powerful. And it's like, it is super powerful. Shelter is super powerful because you have soul twisting or whatever the actual elite's name is. Yeah, exactly. Most skills, I thank you for actually understanding my rubric. Most skills are not so bad they're unusable. We don't have OG Otiung's Cry anymore. that was a 0. The OG Otiung's Cry that made wild animals. Exactly. OG Otiung's Cry was making all wild animals in the area become hostile to, like, everything, or maybe your enemies. I don't know. It wasn't good because if there were any around, they were level 5. So there was never a situation in which it was actually useful. Please put that on me again. Thank you. That gets me more energy. Yeah, no, even worse. Because it's just like... Is there one around? Did you see the iguana earlier that was getting roasted when I was fighting the enemies? It's like that. It's like, oh yay, this level 5 wild animal. Because it's like, you can't even have them with you, right? It's just you have to happen onto a wild animal out in the environment. And then... I don't know. It was so useless. So thankfully, no skills are that bad. Precisely. The lizard, which was harmless, is now gnawing at Koss's leg. Impeccable. I like that comment. It amuses me. Okay, we're gonna kill this, and then we're gonna sit around for 10 minutes talking. That's what we're gonna do. That is the plan. Occasionally, that will be broken up by a fight. I love that you can find this in Guild Wars 2. The Throne of Palantia. They really make a big deal out of Ascension, which, I mean, fair. Probably deserves it. That was me staying hydrated. Okay, these Arcanists are a little annoying, but we'll deal. Ow. Yeah, that's why I had Elemental Attunement, or Elemental Resistance. Okay, that stoning hurts. I'm gonna set these guys on fire. When do I get to buy Rod Quartz? Yeah, I think shadow damage is fine. Dark damage is the one that respects armor, but they just... Lifesteal is a thing that they're like, we can't deal with Blood Spike. And it's like, maybe you can't deal with Blood Spike because you, at some point, internalize that Blood Magic is lifesteal skills, and you've made too friggin' many of them. And if you had stuck to, like, 3, you would be fine. And it's so frustrating. Again, the balanced philosophies. But I mean, some of that's designed too. Oh, for sure. That's the thing, is blood magic should be an extremely diverse attribute. In my opinion, kind of like inspiration magic is, where it has all sorts of different functionality. Or like a ritualist attribute line. Because ritualist attribute lines tend to do quite a few different things too. It should be extremely diverse in what it does. Its gimmick is that it's blood magic. All of the skills should have a life sacrifice on them. And, like, sure, maybe some of them are lifesteal, like Vampiric Gaze or whatever, but Vampiric Gaze should not be the template for the attribute, right? And that's the problem, is it became that. Yeah. I mean, technically, like, Well of Blood and Well of Power are support skills. The Orders are solid support skills, but they're just not super used because it's so much better to just E-Surge everything with a Bipper. I mean, I remember when Tombs of the Primeval King switched over to the dungeon that we have now. And the meta build at the time when I was doing it was 5 Barrage Pet Rangers, a Bipper, an Orders Necro, an MM, I think probably a Bip MM if I had to guess, and because you do dual orders because they stacked at the time, and then a healer. But okay, let's get some ether renewal going here so I can actually have some energy. Okay, they're going on the attack, but we're about to kill this worm, question mark. Yeah, enemies are on here, I know. Okay, worm down. Excellent. Yeah. I mean, they won't kill themselves, strictly speaking, with sacrifice skills. But they will, sure as the dickens, get themselves to 1 HP. Well, because the meta these days is human player doing whatever, sort of, it doesn't matter what they're doing. A Resto Bip healer. Necromancer. Using the overpowered restoration healing. A Soul Twist with Union Shelter and Displacement for protection. Because you're basically perma-prosperating the entire party. Is functionally how that's working. And then I'm gonna have to fight the Doppelganger. And then you have as many mesmers as you have access to using E-Surge. Maybe an Ineptitude if you're feeling spicy. And that's kind of the meta, right? And because it turns out that's the most sort of like combination of powerful offense and defense you can have, and Wind Riders were right all along. I'm getting decent damage on that. I think there might be one more attack. Yeah. Sure. Something else that I have. This might take a moment to acquire. But I have this tool that you should be able to download that lets you do... you can see this actually show up in Nightfall, where I do a skill booster league with different skills available. Or not skill booster league. Yeah, skill booster league with different skills available, but I have like a codex. You can customize the settings somewhat and just like generate a codex of like, okay, these are the skills that you get access to if you have everything unlocked with playing your heroes, and then you're building from this, and it makes things more interesting. There's a bunch of different challenges in here for just different like rules, or like, okay, use these elites in your party and you have to build around them and whatever. So that was a thing that I made at one point in time to just help keep things fresh, make things interesting. Good. Moobot figured out how to send you the command. I mean, I saw that it had done that, and then I decided to comment on it. We're just going to be standing here getting sieged by worms, giving Donkoro a little bit to do. But you can see how the... and I think there's more functionality in it now than might be in that video. I don't remember. But... yeah, Acolyte Sasuke did level up. I thought he might have. But I love the build system in this game, so that's something that I made to just encourage me to try new things with it. I definitely learned a lot. For example, did you know there are some elite skills that the AI will not use? Like Wither. I don't think they use Wither. Yep, that's about right. Cost, that's about right. Is Sashion a command still in Guild Wars 2? Yeah, there's definitely some weird persnicketyness about it. So there'll often, on wiki pages, you might see notes about what the AI will and will not do. Yeah, I think that might just, I don't know, that might be armor ignoring damage. Or it might be earth or something, possibly, too. It's consistently doing 60 to me, so that's interesting. Well, it's doing less to me than Nankoro, so this might actually be reducing it. It's doing 60, then it probably does 120. Okay. That's everything I needed to do before going in there. Right? Yes. Goodbye, team. How do I want to go about doing this? Usually, the best strategy is putting on a skill that's bad to have on. Excuse me. And then making the AI use that. What if I put on Meteor Shower and Double Dragon? And then give myself Leech Signet. I might have to experiment a little bit here. I normally will cheat at this functionally by bringing PvE only skills that the AI doesn't have access to. But I don't have those right now, so I don't remember. I must have done this on my other... Oh, also these guys show up in Augury Rock and Guild Wars 2, which is pretty cool. Although I do feel like the rock is more... their Mesa is more impressive in this game than in that one. These guys tell you where the various missions are, which is cool. You're completely confused because you'd been run to Drakus initially. Yeah. Good ol' runs to Drox. We'll get there soon enough. Get there soon enough. Yes, I was right. Weapon. Woo! This does look really cool in Guild Wars 2. The Ascension Chamber here.
Reach out and take hold of your destiny. Your ascendance is now complete.
Yeah. Yes, it was nice and fast. It turns out the AI did decide to try opening with Meteor Shower just like I hoped, and that didn't work out for it. Which is excellent. I think I want elemental resistance here, or lightning resistance. We'll get ether renewal back on here, and I wanted firestorm. Actually, no, I think I'll keep lava font. Wish we would have gotten Ascension Guilders soon some way. I'm not sure what they would do with it, honestly. The point of Ascension was getting us the Gift of True Sight, so that way we could see the Mersat, which was not a relevant issue by the time. Slightly better bowstring, nice. I would argue the other way around. They have been mining the Ever-Living Snot out of Guild Wars 1, at least lore-wise and stuff. And they still have a lot of the OG devs who have a soft spot for it. That said, I think that there are definitely some ways in which they do not properly capture Guild Wars 1 stuff, particularly in the map, and Adelburn gets boulderized. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically he becomes a caricature of his self. But I didn't realize that for a long time until I did my slow playthrough. I don't know what Ascension though would be like in Guild Wars 2, or what that would even look like. I mean, you have the whole programs of Ascension and everything, but that's true. It is. I mean, Paulo Joko is not a great guy. Kind of. I don't disagree. Like, they had to do something to figure out their whole we want to have the char be playable. And they do a lot to address sort of the cultural reasons why they were the way they were, which I do appreciate. But yeah, I get what you're saying. And I mean, I do think that they could have handled how they approach stuff with Ascalon. Again, it goes back to, like, I appreciate sort of the realness in that real history is actually really complicated, and that's represented with what they do. I mean, it uses it. I just wanted to unlock TOPK. So, like, I understand, like, oh, this is actually a complex history that we're born into the middle of with Ascalon, and they do a lot with the char to sort of address them. I would love for them to actually explore that aspect. Sahathan is for as significant as it becomes throughout the course of Guild Wars 2, I really would have liked to have seen it, like, be talked about more. I should hit the intermission button. Okay, let me through. We are not fighting Glint, by the way. That's ridiculous. I mean, back in the day, players hated Rook because he would get them killed in usually Ruins of Sirmia, maybe Nolani Academy. Enchanted swords coming through. Man, I wish THK hadn't gotten nerfed to the ground. I need to see what skills I can buy at Drox. Yeah, you're not wrong. Although, you could actually run back and capture 100 blades if you wanted to. I don't think it despawned his corpse or anything. Honestly, my memory with Ring of Fire was that people celebrated being able to kill Rurik. That's specifically Hell's Precipice. To get revenge for all the times he got them killed. Yeah. Sparks of the Titans are super strong. Sorry, 2 comments came in at once and I didn't realize the second one was, or the first one was there. I think Rurik is absolutely worth liking, by the way. He's naive and potentially vaguely suicidal after the death of Althea, but I appreciate he is a tragic hero, and I think that's a really cool archetype to have. And I appreciate the role he has and how much he cares about his people. You find it strange how bad we were all back in the day? Oh, yeah. I actually had a recent wipe to not paying attention to Rurik and having him go off a different direction in Runes of Sirmia, but yeah. For the most part, it's completely manageable these days. We just didn't know what we were doing. That's absolutely part of the issue. Okay, Facet of Light. Let's take you down. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, he split the people of Ascalon so much. I think I'd never really thought about how significant Althea was either until the slow playthrough. Hell's Precipice is a hard mission, though. And, like, part of what makes Hell's Precipice a hard mission is enemy trigger locations. There's spots where it'll just cause those friggin' Sparks of the Titans to run forward and just obliterate you. Oh, yeah. Like, Kryda wasn't 100% the answer either. They should have sent for help from Ore, probably. But, like, the thing is, we don't know if they would have been able to functionally hold their ground if Rurik hadn't split their forces like that. And, like, the other thing that really surprised me when I was doing my slow playthrough, where I was actually reading all of the lore and everything, like I didn't do as a teenager and thought I knew what was going on and didn't, is that the breach was not the Char breaching the lines. It was a breach made by Duke Barradin, who was searching for Althea. Like, I think... Yeah, it's so easy to... especially the Sparks of the Titans were just absolutely lethal. But, like, it is arguable, or a point where you could have a historical debate, that Ascalon may not have entirely fallen. They might have been able to fight back the Char if Althea had not gotten kidnapped by the Char and killed. Yeah. But, like, you see an inherent tension in strategy where Rurik's Vanguard is very aggressive and charging into Char territory while the King's Guard is trying to hold the wall. And so their split focus is not helping them, and they're splitting their forces that way. And then Althea gets kidnapped and killed by the Char. Well, when she gets kidnapped, Duke Barradin makes a breach in the line to go try to find what's going on, and that actually did not help me, but whatever. So it fundamentally undercut some of what they're doing, and There's an argument that King Adelbern was being too timid with his strategy, but Prince Rurik basically dividing their forces and being like, there's no point anymore in trying to fight off the Char is like, well, then like the king and whoever was left is like has even less chance of being able to do it than when Rurik was there. And whether or not they would have been able to hold out had Lady Althea, who's Duke Barradin's daughter, and like it's a super political arrangement too. Like clearly it's indicated that they love each other, but Duke Barradin is like the rightful heir to the throne, and King Adelbern was installed instead because of politics that happened back in the day. So Prince Rurik marrying into Duke Barradin like solidifies Adelbern's family line on the throne. It solidifies that position and increases its legitimacy. So yeah, exactly. And that's a conflict that you see. Like King Adelbern, Ascalon is the land, and to Prince Rurik it's the people, right? There's a way that you can perceive them as seeing things that way, and that it creates a huge point of tension as well. So, but yeah, it was just really interesting seeing all these like little moments and stuff of like the things I just hadn't thought about or hadn't really understand what was being said. Like I think one of the things when I first played Guild Wars Prophecies as a teenager was I did not understand the distinction between the king's army and the prince's vanguard, which is a super important distinction for understanding what's happening politically in Ascalon, and I just did not perceive it. Do these guys... Okay, obviously enchantments are going to be worthless here, so I shouldn't worry too much about that, at least around these crystal spiders. I really think killing Rurik so early was a mistake. Narratively, it would have been more prudent to probably wait until the Bloodstone. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would have played out, to have Prince Rurik get them all the way to Kryda and the Ascalonian settlement. I don't know. I mean, that just creates a different story, right? Okay, they do have Hexbreaker, so I need to be careful of that. This is basically a spot to spam Flare, because these things don't have any armor anyway. There's definitely more that they could have done with Rurik, potentially, if he'd stuck around. But, I mean, Captain Greywind kind of takes over at that point, and it also helps Aiden, Eve, Menlo, and Sin, and Devona take more of a front stage position instead of playing second fiddle. But I mean, you could have had him join you in Bloodstone Fen. I don't know. I don't know how that would have changed things necessarily, or how they would have changed things to account for it. I'm not sure players would have liked having to babysit Rurik in all of those missions up through Bloodstone Fen, though. Which is a consideration from a design standpoint. It is wild to me that Priestering wasn't made until after, like, the rest of the game is, like, the last area that they made. About to get an elite that I cannot use. Not this Mesmer one, by the way. I'm going to get the Elementalist one. Wow, I like having enemies that only have 60 armor. It also helps that I am level 20 now, so I'm doing my full power. This is too many Chaos Storms, TM. My monks are not liking it at all. Okay, I'm gonna wait here for a moment and let my people heal. Wasn't Devona in Guild Wars 2 as Balthor's Herald and Path of Fire? Yes, that is, as I understand it, correct. I'm not sure how much it's explicitly stated versus made clear through side and supplemental things. But yeah, Devona becomes the Herald of Balthazar. Just kind of like neat to see her back, I guess, but I don't know. I really like Gwen coming back and the interactions between her, Logan, and Ritlock in season 4, I want to say, of The Living World. Or is it season 3? I think it's season 4. I have such a hard time remembering which one is which. I guess season 3 was after Heart of Thorns, so it would have been season 4. Diversion. Diversion is not great. Do not want to be getting diverted. We especially don't want Flare getting diverted. Wonder if I can have the Signet of Capture diverted. That wouldn't be bad. We're still only on Necro. Oh my goodness, this is a long mission. Okay, I've been in the map 12 minutes. That's not bad. It's still kind of long, but... or a long feeling, but yeah, that's not bad. Of course, Livia's been in Guild Wars 2 quite a bit since season 3, I want to say. And then... what other characters are notable? I don't know. I wonder if they will ever do anything with like Sahathan and stuff again. Kind of return to that story arc. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not sure where they would fit it in. What I would really like is I'd like us to go to like Raisu Palace and stuff and have another X-Pack set in Cantha. I'm enjoying Wilds of Janthir though. From the northern Shiver Peaks down the southern part to Darkness Forge. That is a heck of a fight. Yeah, if you're fighting your way from Beacons down to Drox, that is a very long fight. I've done it before. It takes a while. Still faster than like actually doing the missions if you're a level 20 character, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Okay, Koss just hit level 20. I don't know why he hit level 20 and the others didn't, but I'm going to guess there's a reason. Gwen and Vec obviously started at level 20, so that's not relevant. Okay, there's the dragon bud we need to go kill. It is an epic journey, yeah. Guild Wars 1 feels bigger than Guild Wars 2. A lot of the time. There's just something presentationally about it that makes that happen. Even though arguably Guild Wars 2 has the more epic landscapes and stuff. It would be very hard. Yeah, no, if you... I mean, you can go there. You're just probably going to get your butt handed to you so many times. It's just not worth it. Oh my goodness, this facet is evaporating. Well, that's one dead facet. Weird little cutscenes. I'm going to throw in my resistance here. That probably gives me... I don't know. It gives me a lot of armor against elemental damage. Because I have inherent 10 from... I have Pyromancer's Insignia. which gives me plus 10 versus all elemental damage, and then I'm getting another 40 from my resistance. I believe insignia counts separately from the cap. That tickles. Yeah. Crystal Wave can deal damage just because it's armor ignoring, but Monks helped me tank that for sure, but I helped me tank that too. Yeah, I agree. I like the way Prophecies is structured in that regard. There are some complaints I have about the structure of Prophecies. I think in retrospect, they should have had you always get to level 20 in pre-searing and then just have everything post-searing be level 20 and have players join in Ascalon as like Adelburn is asking for help from foreigners and then is functionally abandoned by them when they join Prince Rurik over the mountains. I think that would have worked out better in retrospect with the additional campaigns. Yeah, it was probably stronger at one point in time for that. The bonus damage from removing conditions from enemies that you hit with Crystal Wave. Probably, like, even if you're not doing that and you're keeping that structure otherwise the same, I think that they should have actually introduced elite skills in Kryta. At the same time, they introduced the Signet of Capture. And, because, like, as it is, the Southern Shiver Peaks and Ring of Fire Island Chain are way overloaded on elite skills, and I think they should have just been something that you could have, like, they should have just spread them out throughout. Kryta and Meguma in the Crystal Desert as well. I mean, there's some in the Crystal Desert, don't get me wrong, but I think it just should have been more spread out. But yeah, you could have made like a Virulence Crystal Wave build of dubious quality. Yeah, level 20 is a very long journey in Prophecies. I think the pacing in Prophecies works really well within the context of just Prophecies. It just doesn't work as well in the context of the rest of the campaigns, but they didn't even know if they were going to get additional games when they made Prophecies, so I totally understand where they're coming from. Make the game that you know that you get to make as well as you can, and if you get more, awesome. Okay, remember to cap from this thing. Yeah, that would be the skill. I'm taking so much less damage to these elemental spells than everyone else in my party. It's kind of funny. Give me a lightning surge. Yeah. This will be getting slapped on Vec very soon. I'm not sure what I'll replace just yet, but it is probably Lightning Javelin, let's be real. Yeah, I have 110 against elemental damage, actually. Because my Insignia gives me plus 10 inherently versus all elemental damage, and then additional plus 10 versus fire. So yeah, 110 is over halving the damage, so I won't be using that as much here. I am also not going to use Lightning Surge here. And after I put in all of that effort, to man, these crystal spiders are so cool looking. To cast my enchantment. Yeah, Dragon's Lair was a really hard one. Not as hard as Thunderhead Keep, I don't think, but Thunderhead Keep was just the hard mission. It is such a snooze fest now, but back in the day it was the hard mission. Gwen getting her face wrecked by these things. I want elemental attunement. Maybe I'll go to Cantha soon. Can you infuse inside Thunderhead Keep? I know you can Iron Mines of Molodune, and then the Ring of Fire and Abaddon's Mouth you can all infuse in. I don't know if you can in THK. But yeah, needing infusion. I mean, I remember... You know what? I'll apply this because it'll knock him down. If I went in there with any character but my monk, I could not get a team. But if I went in there with a monk, I would get infinite teams. It was... Everybody wanted me in there. Yeah, Iron Mines of Molodune is where you'd get infused. Used to be just one armor piece. You can also get infused in Mineral Springs. Yes, finding a team as a warrior was excruciating. I remember on my warrior when I probably was the time I finally beat Hell's Precipice. Yeah. I remember playing a whammo and the person was like, your job is to tank, you not do damage. So I brought a bunch of self-defense skills. I think I ran a Mark of Protection warrior in Hell's Precipice.
You have ascended and awakened the gift of true sight that lay dormant within you.
Yeah.
The moment has finally come.
Good cutscene.
You are the chosen I have been waiting for while you've been in the desert.
Okay, yep, that's fine. I don't want to sit here, glint, and hear about what's happened in the desert while I've been gallivanting about in the desert. Okay, nice close-up of Dunkor there. I know. The game is not designed... Like, there's no aggro mechanics for tanking. I'll say the game doesn't have tanking, and people will be like, well, actually... And it's like, yes, players have figured out how to use the mechanics in order to do something functionally equivalent to what tanking is in other games. There are no inherent tanking mechanics. There's no way to inherently try to draw aggro specifically to you instead of to, like, other random party members, right? And so, like, players have found ways of tanking, but it's, like, you go in first in order to manage aggro, and then try to pull everyone together and stuff like that. So it is a similar concept, but the execution is vastly different. Do I want to go get Pack skill? Probably not. Let's do that. That's a huge upgrade right there. Being able to give my Vex Lightning Surge. Can I get Rodgorts? That's a really good question. Hang on. Let me... Rodgorts Invocation. Marhan's Grotto and Ember Light Camp. Well, that's just a long ways away either way you go about it. You actually try to make some weird low HP Stone Flesh Armor of Earth Defy Pain setup to try and force enemy aggro. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of those will be like, yeah, this worked, and then it immediately stops working. Okay, everybody is level 20 now, so that's good. Okay, yes, Gwen and Vec are fine already. Before that, prior to that, they are fine. Okay, Marhan's Grotto. is friggin' like over here. Like right over here. Okay, where else can I get elemental attunement? I know I can get it in Perdition Rock, but... Chung the Attuned. Okay, so Chung is in Undercity. Marga Coast. There's some spots there too. I don't have access to Marga Coast. I'm pretty sure this character's not that far. Maybe I can go to the Undercity and go capture Elemental Attunement. And you can reliably cause AI aggro switch by rezzing your pet because it checks for a time to kill. But you can't spam it like in pre. Yeah, because of the time where it disables things. Either way, though, I do want to get... You know, I should advance in... I should go to Commodon and I should advance there, because if I advance in Commodon, I can go get Savannah Heat, which would be... I mean, Ether Renewal is functional, but it's not exactly what I'm wanting to do. It's not a bad early option, though. Much do I want to take some time? Bartok? Isn't that a Klingon name? It wouldn't surprise me. Ugh. I'm gonna be honest here, I don't need minor energy storage that badly, folks. Not at that price. Okay, so something else I should consider. What are the Z stuffs for today? Hang on, let me check that, because... Gate of Madness. 4 horsemen, you say? Yeah, I'm not doing the 4 horsemen on this account anytime soon. Don't do 4 horsemen on my main account anytime. Like, ever. There's an argument for getting the air magic thing here because it gives me some additional options. So I will go ahead and buy that. Actually, while I'm here, I should buy another... Whoops, I need more money for that. I should buy second air magic and another fire magic. Okay, like Sasuke already has a fire magic. I did not need to buy a second fire magic. I will stick that in my bank and use that on somebody else then. Vec. I like to make Vec air magic. And now Vec is air magic. Let's see. I'm gonna buy some soup healing, super prot. She should be superior prot. And then Koro should be soup healing. I like to make Ogden divine favor, probably. I'm not gonna worry about these other ones just yet. Koss needs a better sword. Oh. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. A little better sword costs up later when I actually get to a spot where I can get loot. Okay. What do I need to be able to make my armor? Let's put these bottles of grog away. Do I have a spot for them? Well, they're going in there. That's where they're going. Okay. Put Pyromancers on that. I'll put Aeromancers on this one, probably. Okay, you. Storm Eye. 25 dust, 25 iron, and a plat. Okay, can anybody tell me why they decided to make alt the split stack key in Guild Wars 2? Okay, Storm Eye crafted. I love me my fire magic, but... Okay. Rune Trader. I'm going to put an Aeromancers on this. No particular reason other than just why not. Oh, I should check. Major Expertise is not worth anything, right? Let me grab Aeromancer's insignia. My Storm Eye. It just feels correct. Okay, Major Expertise. Yeah, it's not worth as much as the rune is to buy, but Minor Smiting is probably not worth anything. No. Minor Divine Favor is worth a butt ton for reasons unknown. Radiant. Radiant is one that should be worth something. I'm gonna salvage the Radiant out because I will put it in my bank. I will use this. Major Protection is not. Yeah, that's not worth hanging on to. I should just sell that as well. Superior Divine Favor. Well, I can certainly save some money by salvaging that out when I am ready. What is this? Minor Tactics? Yeah, okay. Okay. It was a Fiery Brute Sword. I wanted the Fiery Hilt, I guess. Not a terrible choice for some uses. This I can also sell. Okay, I'm just gonna hit up Rothgar here. Sell these things off. Recoup some of my costs. Okay, let's go ahead and switch over to an air magic build. Because I actually have some... I have an air magic elite. I know, air magic's a little clunky, but... I have chain lightning. Beck, are you not using chain lightning? Yeah, you should be using chain lightning over that. Okay. I just hadn't been using Vac for various reasonable reasons. Air attunement. Glyph of Lesser, because this is very expensive. Or can become such. Yeah, okay, that seems like a reasonable build. We'll roll with this for the time being. Bartok. What skills you got here, bud? Cry of Frustration. Ah, Blurred Vision. Neat. I'm going to want that eventually, but this is one of those where me funds at sort of situations, and I do not need it now. And I might even be able to get it on for skill quest later, so... definitely not a priority. Okay. Do I just want to go to Ice Caves of Sorrow? Let's kick Gwen and Vec. Actually, let's bring them back in and kick Koss and Milani. Because I don't need them there for leveling purposes anymore. And let's go back to like Hero's Audience and stuff and unlock other secondaries. Excuse me. That makes sense. Hey, Cambrian. Man, it was so nice when they added this drop down. You didn't have to go and do this. Sacred Griffin of Amnoon is actually south of Augury Rock, so I'm just going to leave from here and go over there. It's a little bit more straightforward. But I'd like to unlock my secondaries, kind of just wrap up the stuff that I'm doing in the Crystal Desert, and then I'll probably call it a day. But next time I may not jump right back into playing this Ellie, because I have other characters to advance. And I kind of feel like I want my Mesmer to have some more options, so... I may advance my Mesmer. Has a distinct likelihood. There's this really nice 1-2 punch where you lightning surge and then you lightning orb and they both hit it like the same time. It's pretty great. I'm fond of it. I used to go farm griffins down here and I miss that. I don't even know if I'd find it fun now. My memories of it are very pleasant. Because lightning surge going off makes the enemy stop, which usually helps lightning orb hit. And it also applies cracked armor, which is nice. I'll definitely be getting better damage off of the air magic, but I won't be able to hit as many targets. Air magic is like your single target hard hitter. Fire magic is your like hit everybody skill, so. Yeah, look at that nice spike of damage. Okay, those hydras ran past us, which is preferable, in my opinion. Well, of the you don't get to have enchantments. Whee! And I stepped back into it. Whoops. I think we found some traps, folks. Wow, that was bad. No other way to put it. That was not great. Those traps really did a number on their HPs, but we're fine now. I should just always open with this combo. It just does so much damage, and more importantly, it applies cracked armor, which makes all of my other damage better. Wow. Just got ruined. Hello, random desert griffin that was permitted to survive. There used to be so many of them in the area, but now they're not. I wonder if Vec and I both applied lightning surge to that thing. It's definitely awkward to be using the hex that your allies are also using, but lightning surge will absolutely just knock this thing down super fast. Natural resistance. Oh yeah. There's some times when it backfires, and Wastrel's Worry is one of those times. Okay. Let's go. Talk to Zarathakor. Okay, let's have you make me a Necromancer. That unlocks some skills for this character. They're Necromancer skills, which is nice. I'm gonna go back to Mesmer with my handful of points in Inspiration Magic. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know which one of these I'm going to actually want right now. Seeker's Passage will get me a couple more. Yeah, next one. This is the Monk, I want to say. I thought Eater of Souls. And then the Mesmer, and because the Elementalist Necro are in that spot, and the Warrior is over here. Augustus the Brave. Barton Smallwood. You just, you know, a little forest. Not a big forest, just a little forest there. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just go do that. Oh, wait, no. That's right over here. Nice. Convenient. Did not have to do this on my warrior because my warrior was already a warrior. Fun fact. My warrior, who was a warrior, did not have to do the thing to unlock warrior as a secondary. Oh, nope. Don't want to cast into that. Matter of Lightning. Look at you metagaming against me. Okay. That tree occupied a shockingly large amount of space. Okay, I need to get down there, I think, to get over there, probably. This map is especially convoluted because of its combination of warps and different elevations. If you're going to be fighting Hydras, by the way, I highly recommend Elemental Resistance, which is not the one that I brought. But that's okay. Oh, a desiccated Hydra Claw. Nice. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have Vec in the same party that I'm doing air magic in, because there's too many hexes that overlap awkwardly. Excellent. Wait, does this even connect? I think this connects. Maybe? I don't know. We're going to find out if this connects. Okay, we're under attack by a lot of random dudes, and it is not ideal, but... I just got my chain lightning diverted, which is also not ideal. But I also did like 300 damage to that guy, so that was a nice spike. So, you know, that we've got some things going for us. Friggin' Mantra of Lightning, y'all. Metagaming. Get lorbed. Does this continue down? I think it does. I've always kind of liked these river areas in the Crystal Desert. I don't know. I think they're neat. Okay, I think I need to take out, yeah, Orshad Chieftain. I'm not chain lightninging enough. Excellent. Guess what? This is not a game where I have to sit around and wait for all the enemies to die before I can map away. Woo! Yes, I am throwing shade at Elden Ring, for anybody who is wondering. Yep, server artery gash. Perfect. No notes. Give me my inspiration magic back, please. I don't know. I'm gonna put the elemental one on, I guess. I don't know. Let's leave out of here to go get the blah 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 of souls. Blah 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 person. Where's the necromancer? Why does it always go back to that one? No. Monk's Path. Find the Eater of Souls and destroy it. That's the one that I'm looking for. I happen to know where it is, and that it's over there. It's in this map. Well, that was just rude. 113 damage. Yep, I'm definitely feeling the effects of my armor penetration. This is rated for 90. Also being level 20 instead of 17 is doing stuff for my damage. It is an increase, mathematically speaking. Vec got that, which is fine. The important part was the knockdown. Is there a spot like this where you have all these skeletons and these pillars? In Guild Wars 2? I don't know if this part of the map overlaps. I should have this up. You know, I was trying to cast my spells, but we can knock me down too. That works. Oh, man. We got so much spiky damage. It's nice. I'm enjoying it. I'm not enjoying this worm attack. Get back up. Zap again. Never gonna keep me down. I like the idea of lightning striking twice. That's a nice little concept. Okay. There's the Eater of Souls that we need to hunt down. If we Oh, that's what the issue was. It vanished off into the ground. And then I need to go into the salt flats to down something or another. Oh, that's right. There's a bajillion of these guys. This is where I need... Oh, boy. Not often do I think I should put on elemental resistance because of Chillblade's damage, but when you have a dozen Jade Scarabs, you begin to think that way. That is a lot of Jade Scarabs. There's no way you're keeping any enchantments up with that happening either. Would you please bring out the head honcho? Thank you. Oh my goodness. So many Jade Scarabs, so much Chillblains, so little energy. One and a half cast time is kind of a weird amount. Are we ready for the Eater of Souls now? Have we killed enough of its kin or whatever? I didn't kill it, right? No, Monk's Path isn't complete yet. Did it just bug out and not spawn? Oh, there it is. Hi, that took a while. Just busy eating souls? Chowing down? I guess. Okay. Head out here. I'm going to turn them both in and then do the swappities. That seems reasonable to me. Man, that's kind of like no straight path territory, right? Maybe I can go up and around. Some more Jade Scarabs. You better believe your bottom dollar it is. Or your top dollar. I don't care which part of your dollar you're doing things with. Well, I wanted a lightning orbit, but it died. So I didn't. I think this is actually a shorter path up to there, but I go this way because I need to talk to the ghost there for the quest. I don't know. There's some routing that I do because of random quest reasons. That then doesn't actually make sense if you don't have those particular random quest reasons. That was vaguely annoying. Get lightning orbed, I guess. This thing has 60 armor, so it didn't lose armor due to cracked armor. I'm probably about to get knocked down. Oh my goodness. I took so much less damage because I have 120 armor against fire. Gwen, who does not, died. I got her back up with vengeance, it looks like. Remember to disable vengeance, because if it casts fast enough, your party member will go down and then keep going up and down and up and down. I stopped myself from attacking through clumsiness. I feel like a hero. Champion, as it were. Hero means a specific thing in this. They will not stop themselves from doing that. And there goes Gwen. Okay, we can turn that back on. I'm gonna activate that because we're about to get... That's so much damage. Target me! Yeah, palookas. I don't know what a palooka is, but I just called them that. Is it an insult? Maybe. Okay, you are going to get Gwen up. Then we're going to walk over this way a little bit. These archers are in much worse shape in Guild Wars 2. And Sasuke is going to fall over at some point. What is going on with this? Oh, that's a griffin. And Gwen is going to get him back up. You definitely did not want Vec to be getting him back up in that circumstance. Vengeance is a good mid-combat heal and a very bad not that. Okay, and once I get these quests turned in, as well as the Hero's Journey quest that told me to go visit the places where the heroes are, once I get all those turned in, my intention is to wrap up the stream, just so that way people know what I'm planning. It's fun using these Punisher hexes against... Or these hexes that do something after a short duration against enemies that have natural resistance that make them end early. These look like hooves to me, by the way. I don't know if anybody else is looking at those and being like, that's a hoof. But it looks like a hoof to me. Oh man, that would be a nice juicy target for a fire elementalist and not for an air elementalist. With you get 3 targets. Choose wisely. Okay, these guys are annoying, but they're deal-withable. I think they use like power spike and stuff, maybe? I don't know. I was not paying attention. Yeah, of course it's Crippling Anguish. Crippling Anguish is like their favorite elite. Do I have that on this character? No. There's a bajillion other places to capture Crippling Anguish in particular, so it's not a huge consideration at the moment. Okay. You, now Swan. Your name is a palindrome. Nausuan. I don't think I've thought about that before. Make me a monk. You used to have to go back to these NPCs. I've told this story a bajillion times in the past, so whatever. But you did. You had to go back to these NPCs to be able to change your secondary, and then they finally added it in the UI, and everyone rejoiced. Because that was superior. Okay. Is not what was useful. Okay. I have done those things. That should have us wrapped for what we need to do in the Crystal Desert. So let's go to Drockner's Forge. Let's get Koss and Milani back in here, much to my chagrin. I mean, they're fine. I'm not going to pretend they're not fine, but... And I should have a quest I can turn into Vanyi. Yeah. You traveled all that way and didn't bother talking to a single one of the ghosts there, did you? No. Don't bother trying to deny it. Yeah, this is, in fact, false. But I will grab this quest because I absolutely want to do that one. But we will absolutely do that one another time. thank you for watching, everyone. I'm going to wrap up here, as I said I would a few minutes ago, and I'm going to turn my character around because we're going to have this in the background. Thank you all very much for watching. I don't know what my streaming is going to be like, because I never know what my streaming is going to be like, but I do want to keep this going. And at some point in time, I want to actually do that streamed playthrough of Middle-earth: Shadow of War that I tried to start before my previous computer's graphics card died. So I didn't do that. But I do want to do it at some point in time. So, but yes, until next time, everyone, thank you all, like I said, for watching. Take care. Happy holidays, and goodbye.